This is the Luckeep M5 MAX electric bike, and my first thought is that it looks and feels more like a compact motorcycle than a typical e-bike. The stance is low and muscular, the tires are chunky, and everything about it signals power. I was excited and a little cautious at the same time. On paper, it's fast, heavy, and very capable. In person, the build matches that promise, and it brings the same pros and cons you get with moped-style electric bikes. The frame is aluminum, and the whole setup is solid and dense. At around 100 pounds, it's not something I want to carry upstairs. The geometry feels compact with a straight, sturdy spine, and a long saddle that lets me slide a bit to find a comfortable spot. The 20 by 4-inch fat tires fill out the look and give it that planted, moto attitude. The suspension is the real story visually. An inverted front fork up front and a beefy rear coil shock. If you're new to the term inverted fork, it means the thicker tubes are at the top, which adds stiffness, then helps with stability when the front end is taking hits or braking hard. It looks premium and works like it should at speed. The lighting is more motorcycle than bicycle. Big round headlight, tail light with turn signals, and a clear brake light. The cockpit has a color display and NFC unlock, which lets me tap a tag instead of using a key. The hydraulic disc brakes run 180mm rotors, and the levers have a confident, short throw. The overall impression is serious hardware, designed to handle serious speed. The seat is firm but supportive. I could feel the weight and solidity just rolling it around. That heft has trade-offs, but it also makes the bike feel grounded when riding fast. From my experience, the motor hits hard. The hub motor is listed at 1500 watts with a 2000 watt peak, and it feels like it. I get quick launches, strong mid-range pull, and on open straightaways, the speed climbs fast. I saw speeds in the high 30s on flat ground, which lines up with the claimed 37 to 37.5 miles per hour. That's beyond the usual 28 miles per hour Class 3 ceiling, so I treated it with the same respect I'd give a small motorcycle. I kept a full-face helmet on and stayed cautious in traffic. The power delivery is where I ran into my biggest learning curve. Using the full twist throttle, the initial surge can be abrupt at low speed. It doesn't always feel gentle under 5 miles per hour, and it can catch me off guard when I'm trying to weave through tight spaces or making U-turns in a parking lot. Once I'm rolling, the mapping feels better, and the throttle is easy to live with at normal street speeds. In my opinion, a smoother low-speed tune would make a big difference for everyday usability. I did use cruise control on longer stretches, and that helped keep the ride relaxed. The suspension is tuned on the firm side, which I actually appreciate here. At speed, a soft setup can feel vague. This feels planted. The inverted fork resists diving too much under braking, and the rear coil keeps the back end settled over bumps. On grassy sections and mild dirt, the bike rides comfortably. I wouldn't call it a trail bike, but the fat tires and full suspension make imperfect surfaces a non-issue. The tires grab well on loose stuff like light gravel and dry dirt. Just remember, the 20-inch wheels are small, so sharp potholes at high speed are never a good idea. Braking performance is one of the highlights. The hydraulic setup bites with authority and stays consistent. The levers don't feel spongy, and I get strong, predictable stops. With a heavy frame and real speed, brakes are not a place to compromise, and these feel appropriate for the job. On the power side, there's a spec mix I need to address. The listing toggles between 48-volt and 52-volt language. My display reads 52-volt, and the acceleration supports that higher system voltage. If you're new to this, a 52-volt system generally gives you better headroom for power under load and reduces voltage sag when you punch the throttle or climb. It's part of why this bike feels so eager off the line. Range with the 20 amp-hour pack depends on how I ride. With pedal assist, that's where the motor helps while I'm pedaling. Stretching up to the advertised figures takes discipline and lower speeds. Using throttle a lot, I plan for something around the ballpark of 40 miles, give or take terrain, rider weight, and wind. There's support for a second 20 amp-hour battery. Key features include the dual battery option that can extend the ride for very long days. The catch is that the system doesn't blend the batteries automatically. I have to switch the connector when one is empty. That's not complicated, but it does break the flow during a long ride. Charging with the included 3-amp charger is straightforward and usually lands in that 5 to 6 hour window per pack. Noise matters to me on longer rides. The motor has a noticeable whine under load. At steady cruising speeds, I hear it, and under heavy throttle, it stands out. It's not a deal breaker, but it's not stealthy. Also worth noting, on very steep grades, there's thermal protection that can step in to protect the motor and controller. I didn't cook it, but I could tell the system prefers momentum and rolling climbs over extended, slow, super steep hauls. Fit is better than the marketing suggests. I'm comfortable in the mid-height range the brand mentions, but if you're very tall, the moped geometry might feel cramped over longer distances. The payload rating is generous, and the chassis feels up to it, but it's still a compact frame. Key features that stand out to me are the punchy motor, the firm and confidence-inspiring suspension, and the brakes. That trio makes fast riding feel controlled. The lighting package is excellent for visibility, with a bright headlight and real signaling, turn indicators and a brake light, so cars understand what I'm doing. The NFC unlock is a small convenience that I appreciate day to day, and the display is clear in bright sun. The full twist throttle feels natural if you're used to motorcycles, and cruise control is great for longer flat stretches. The drivetrain with a 7-speed setup is handy for helping the motor get off the line on hills or saving battery by spinning at a comfortable cadence. It's perfect for riders who want a moped-style e-bike that actually rides like one, fast, stable, and ready for a mix of pavement and light off-road. From my experience, it works best when I treat it like a lightweight electric moto. Gear up properly, give myself space, and use the speed responsibly. I'd recommend this for enthusiasts who like to tinker and tune, because there's room to upgrade components over time, and the frame has space if you want to try a different controller or add the second battery. On the flip side, the aggressive low-speed throttle behavior is something I had to adapt to, and the motor noise is a thing. The dual battery system requires manual switching, which isn't elegant. Also, top speed puts it outside normal e-bike classes in many places, so I'm mindful of where and how I use it. In my opinion, riders who want a quiet, super refined commuter with featherweight handling might be happier with a lighter Class 3 e-bike that's limited to 28 miles per hour. This one aims past that, and it shows in how it rides and what it asks of me. In conclusion, the Luckeep M5 MAX delivers serious power, strong brakes, and a stable chassis that handles speed better than most fat-tire e-bikes I've tried. It looks sharp, it feels solid, and the performance is legit. The trade-offs are real: a heavy platform, a throttle tune that can be jumpy at walking pace, audible motor noise, and a dual battery setup that doesn't auto-manage power. In my opinion, it's a great fit for confident riders who want motorcycle-like performance without the complexity of a full motorcycle. If you're comfortable with the weight, the speed, and the learning curve, this can be a thrilling, capable machine for commuting, weekend runs, and mixed-surface exploring. I'd recommend this for experienced e-bike riders or moto-curious commuters who want power and range in a compact package and don't mind dialing in their riding style. If support and absolute refinement are top priorities for you, do your homework on service options in your area and consider how much DIY you're willing to take on for maintenance and upgrades. Please check the comments section for detailed information about the Luckeep M5 MAX electric bike. Thank you for watching.